After much delay, we have finally made it. Week 3, the final list of the SMCGR, aka the SMC Global Rankings. For the last day, we have men's trick track. Now, if for some reason you're new to the SMCGR and this is your first time watching one, what we do is we take all of the riding for a year. In this case, we're taking 2024's riding. We're taking into account your consistency, your progression, your tricks, your cleanliness, competition placements. We take all of that data, we consult the panel, the SMC panel, and then we create a list based on all of that information. Before we get into the top 10, we have to go into the cusp, which are 5 riders just on that verge of top 10 placements. We're going to start local, a Los Angeles local, new to the list as a whole. He doesn't ride like he's new to the list, though. That's going to be David Torres. David didn't have a ton of activity for the year, but the few clips he did put out are absolute bangers. It was kind of to the point where I'm surprised I hadn't heard about him sooner. What really solidified his presence this year was a 3rd place finish at the SMC 7 Trick Track AM contest. Hope to see David keep pushing it and come out to the contest again this year. Next up on the cusp, another new face to the list in an upcoming Trick Track region. That's going to be Guillaume out of France. Guillaume got on my radar this year. He is a tall French man, really good on a trick track bike. He's got really clean style and good tricks. Had a good amount of activity on the internet as far as posting his bike tricks goes this year. And then he finished the year strong with a 2nd place finish at the Olvo Tricks contest in France. He's definitely been one of my favorite to watch on a trick track bike this year. 3rd person on the cusp is going to be also out of France. Like I said, it's a really big upcoming trick track region. That's going to be Mark. Okay, Marky Mark. I think I've hinted at this in other content, but Mark has been one of my favorite people to discover in 2024. Mark's got a really cool, aggressive style on his 700C trick track bike. A really good bag of tricks, lots of consistency. I even had the pleasure of going over to Netherlands this year for the fixated comp, which Mark also got 4th place pro at. Watching him ride was an absolute pleasure. Like I said, really consistent, really good tricks. If I had to rank my top prospects for the year and up-and-comers, Mark would certainly be number 1 on that list. 4th member of the cusp this year is going to be a very familiar face. We're jumping back to the good old US of A in Northern California, Mr. Matt Dizon, aka Matt Bastard. The only person on this list to also be featured on the FGFS list. 2 lists, double listing. Although Matt's trick track activity was a little bit less than his FGFS stuff, we had to feature him on this list because of his sheer creativity on a trick track bike. Nobody is doing it like Matt on any fixed gear bike, but especially nobody is doing it like him on a trick track. He actually takes his trick track, his Master Bike Co. Cortec, to spots, and he utilizes them in all kinds of weird, funky ways. Matt is an absolute weapon on all forms of fixed gear bike. Last person on the cusp for the year, a 3rd person from France, and that's going to be Mr. Pony, aka Lucas Centau. Lucas was featured last year also. He had an absolute great year this year, full of progression, activity, and competition. He placed 3rd at Trick Track AM at the Fixated Comp 2. He dropped 3 edits on his YouTube channel and posted a ton of clips on the gram. What I noticed about his riding this year is that he's pushing more towards the direction of BMX style FGFS tricks. So he still has all of his really good flat ground trick track tricks. He's done some of the sickest fish and chips variations I've ever seen, but he's starting to push for a lot of bunny hop bar spins, hop 180s, 360s, pedal feebles on ledges, and all of those kind of skate park spot oriented tricks. A lot of times when people make that transition from like trick track, flat ground style riding to FGFS BMX style riding, there's usually a kind of buffer period where people are kind of learning an entirely new skill set. So Lucas is kind of in that right now. It's a growing pains period for him where it's a little unnatural, but it is coming to him, and I see him really making the effort to push past his comfort zone. and it's really awesome to see, and his riding is going to be much better because of it. That concludes the 5 people on the cusp. Let's move on to the top 10 SMCGR Trick Track 2025. At the 10 spot this year, one of the busiest men in the Trick Track space, that's going to be Volume Bike Co.'s own Chris Alzona, aka Chris Wyoki. In the year of 2024, Chris posted 159 clips. That's more than a clip every 2 days. That's so much activity. He just gets outside, films a trick, no matter what. I respect that a lot, and that's how you get better. And you can really see his progress in his riding over the last few years. I remember he came out to our 2021 Back to Track Jam, which was a Trick Track comp. That was the first time I ever met him or heard about him. And his progress since then has been like 300% growth. It's going right and up. If you invested in Chris Stonks in 2021, you'd have a lot of money. He's the master at the fish and chips into big spin combo. He can link everything with a foot plant spin and a fish and chip spin and a Kyo spin, all of it. He's one of the great combo kings of our generation. Number 9, a brand new face to this list, already cracking top 10, is going to be Dom, aka HDU Fixie, out of Korea. Now, some of you watching might remember the legend that is ISE Ashi, one of probably the greatest people to touch a fixed gear trick track bike out of Korea. He's seemingly kind of disappeared from the scene. Maybe he went to the Korean army. I'm not too sure. At the moment, he's kind of MIA. The next best thing we have to ISE Ashi is going to be Dom. He's riding an aluminum track bike, and he's doing insane flat ground spin combos. As you'd expect, he's got insane 5 cabs, 360s, and everything in between. And when I say they're insane, they're just so poppy and so clean. He was brand new on my radar for this year and impressed me so much straight out the gate. Number 8, we're keeping it in Asia, but we're going a little more south. That's going to be Kyle Pagu out of Philippines. Kyle is a staple on these lists. As long as he's posting clips, he's probably going to make it on this list. He's the king of all combo kings. It seems like watching a Kyle clip, the trick never stops. Over the years we've been talking about him, he has been at a very nice constant progress, adding tricks to his bag, keeping his combos going longer, and then cleaning everything up in the process. He's truly a flat ground combo machine. Number 7 for SMCGR 2025. Also a veteran to the list. That's going to be Australia's own Max Corkerin. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, that's surprising that Max is on here. I feel like he didn't ride last year. That's recency bias. If we look at the actual year of 2024, my man Max posted lots of clips towards the beginning of it, along with releasing 2 edits. Upon rewatching Max's edit, this is a top tier edit. When the edit first released and I watched it, I knew it was really good, but when I rewatched it recently, really analyzing every single clip, Max is so good at riding bikes. He's taking his 700C trick track bike to so many cool spots. If you know me, you know that I really love spot usage. I think it's what makes riding the most fun. Max is utilizing trick track spots. Max absolutely crushed it for his 2024 edit. He even had another edit released later in the year. Along with 2 edits, he released a couple different dad cam mixtapes, which had plenty of good clips mixed into it also. So just looking at his Instagram is painting a false story about Max's riding for the year. He released a lot of cool YouTube content also. Max is kind of hitting the point where he's really teeter-tottering into the FGFS realm. So if he keeps progressing the way he does, maybe see him in the FGFS list next year. Who knows? Although Max did just get his bike stolen. The bike thief cut through a bike cage and then cut through his lock and stole it. So if you're in the Melbourne area, please look out for a raw Cortec. Number 6 on the list, a different type of rider than we're used to seeing on here. He keeps it low and slow, but very technical. That's going to be Marcus Gothley. He has a flatland BMX background that he's taken into the fixed gear realm, and it's making for some really unique, one-of-a-kind fixed gear riding compared to what we're used to. Along with really unique clips and tricks, he's got tons of activity for the year. He competes with Mr. Chris Alzona as far as number of clips posted goes. He had 130 for the year. Released 2 full edits. I mean, one of them was kind of a funny bike edit, but it counts. He released 2 full edits for the year. And then he also made the effort to fly out to California all the way from the Midwest on his own and competed in the trick track competition, and he got first place SMC 7 trick track AM. Marcus puts in the work on the bike, he puts in the work off the bike, he knows tons about the history, and he even makes tons of memes about the fixies. He's truly an all-around fixed gear head, and we're happy to have him from the BMX Flatland community. We have reached the top 5 for the year. Number 5 is going to be Korea's own Hyosuk Lim, aka Pagu. Hyosuk is an absolute veteran to the scene at this point. We've been talking about him for a long time. We've always known he was good, but this is his highest placement yet. He had an insanely killer progressive year. He rides fast, he has good style, has great tricks. His activity looked great for the year too, posted tons of clips, always riding with his friends. Seems like they all really motivate each other to do better things and post more and ride more. He's got really great wheelie combos. He's really good at bunny hop bar spins now, and that's not an easy thing to do on a trick track bike. He's got really good flatland combos, just like a lot of the Korea scene, but then he also takes his trick track bike to spots and utilizes the spots to their potential. This was easily Hyosuk's best year on the bike. I hope he keeps it going. Number 4, an absolute enigma to the list. That's going to be Japan's own Fork One, aka Koichi Hygo. Now, if you look at Fork One's Instagram, similar to Max Corkerin, it doesn't paint the full picture of his riding, because he actually posted 0 clips on Instagram for the year, but where he made up for it is in his edits. 84 Kick released 2 edits of Fork One in 2024. These edits are unlike any fixed gear riding that we have ever seen at any point in our sports history. Much like Marcus, he takes a flatland BMX background, applies it right to the fixed gear bike, and it just makes for some insane riding. Pretty much every trick in his videos kind of goes over my head a little bit. His tricks are just such an unreachable, unrealistic degree of difficulty. I'd go as far to say that Fork One is one of the most talented people that has ever graced a fixed gear bike. These edits are nuts. Go on 84 Kick's channel, rewatch them, and be mind blown. Number 3, we're going to Korea. It's going to be Jun Jeang, aka Hammer. Hammer is such a nicely well-balanced rider. He can do the FGFS style flat ground tricks, you know, the flat 360s, the 5 cabs, the bar spins. But then he can also weave in a Kyo Curry-like finesse to his spin tricks. He's one of my favorite people to watch combo his bike. He's even riding a lot of 26-inch FGFS bike at the moment, which I think is just helping his overall bike control, because when he switches back to his 700C trick track build, he's got crazy power on that thing. With 36 clips on the year too, he had good activity and participated well in the sport for 2024. Number 2 for the year. It was a tough one to decide this year. France's own Jacob Bruch, aka Fixie Transformer. He was number 1 2 years in a row, a name that you can expect to be top 3 for years and years to come. Jacob has not slowed down one bit. His riding is such a beautiful blend of BMX style tricks and flat ground trick track tricks. He knows how to use spots. He's got good amount of activity for the year. He had 1 edit released. It was a split edit with a BMX friend of his. Lots of great tricks in that video. He attended the contests. He got first place, Fixated Trick Track Pro. He got first place at the Alvo Tricks Halloween contest in France, playing and experimenting with all kinds of crank arm, bottom bracket, dustery grinds. He's doing them over, he's doing them under, he's doing them backwards. Insert that meme where it's the 2 buff hands shaking. It's Jacob Bruch and tricks involving his crank arms. Jacob's an absolute pleasure to watch on the bike. Great style, great activity, great tricks. I've been saying this for a while. His tricks teeter on the edge of FGFS and Trick Track. It's actually hard to place him in a list sometimes, but ultimately I choose Trick Track because he's still on 700C and kind of skinny tires, but he's got the 180 bars and the crank arms and the bunny hop tricks. He's a lovely hybrid between the two worlds. That brings us to number 1, the champion of SMCGR 2025. A veteran to the list, a veteran to the sport as a whole. That's going to be Japan's own Satoshi Hashimoto, aka 84 Kick. He makes the videos, he films the videos, he does the tricks, he attends the contests, he does everything. Not only does he post tons of clips of himself, but he goes out of his way to find lesser known people in the Japanese scene to document and then share with the rest of the world. He has posted so many bike checks and edits of riders that I didn't even know existed. So he's putting people on while being on. Not only did he post many edits of others, he posted an edit of himself. And then in a lot of these edits that he posts on YouTube, he's very active on his YouTube channel. He's got tons of great clips of himself sprinkled in there too. So once again, Instagram, not the full picture of the activity and the riding from Satoshi. He also travels a ton. He made it out to Fixated Comp from Japan. He also made it out to Suck My Comp from Japan. Fixated Comp, he got 2nd place, Trick Track Pro. SMC 7, Trick Track Pro winner. So he's traveling and kicking ass and taking names too. Satoshi, I hope to be like you one day. You're the champion for the year. Congrats. Thank you for riding a fixed gear bike so much. That finally concludes SMCGR 2025. I'm sorry it was so late this year. I'll try to be a bit earlier about it next year. Not that it really matters, but let me know your Trick Track thoughts. Leave them in the comments, please. I actually really like to see other people's opinions. Shout out to you for watching. Thanks for watching. I've got a ton of videos in the queue because I was waiting to get all of these SMCGR videos done, so expect some good activity on the channel in the coming weeks. Thank you for watching. SMCGR 2025 out.